Welcome back to Her Voice Collective. I am Kim, still the host of Her Voice Collective. In season 3, we're getting into application of self. What makes you, as a woman in business, excellent? We've just finished wrapping up the conversation with Emily, who is top performer in a recruitment business, runs her own business, has many things happening, very, very intentional in her life. And a couple of takeaways is, how do you step into your truth? How do you have a surgery and you're back to life in 3 days? And all of that comes down to her mindset, comes down to her discipline, and comes down to how she chooses the people around her. But I won't say anything more. Come inside, listen to the conversation, and if there's something that you've picked up, put it into the comments on Instagram or YouTube. It is my utmost pleasure and honor to welcome Emily as our first guest onto the season.
Amazing.
Welcome to Her Voice, Em.
Thank you for having me. Shall I introduce myself?
Yes, please.
Okay, let's do it. So I'm Emily Docherty. I am Associate Director at Genie Recruitment. So I specialise in recruitment within the hospitality industry. And then I'm also co-founder of Butter and Yolk. And we are an artisanal bakery that supply several hotels and restaurants across the UAE. Welcome.
Well, you forgot to introduce a very important role you play
What?
in my life.
Of course. Okay, mother, maybe? Even though the years don't add up, but mother, let's go with that.
Yeah. Well, what you don't know is women friendships, women networks, they go beyond just, I think all of us listening here, we know that it goes beyond just, a reference. It's your support system. It's the wind beneath your wings. And I just want to say it on camera, not that I haven't said it 100 times on camera within our messages or within our group, that you've definitely been so instrumental to my journey. First in adopting me.
True.
First in adopting me, seeing me when I didn't see me, and for everything that we share and we share within the group. So thank you, Em.
That's what friends are for,
Exactly.
right? That's what friends are for. Yeah. Interesting.
Diving straight into excellence.
Okay.
What does excellence mean to you?
I think excellence for me, it's very big on me personally, in the sense of I always want to put my best foot forward, which sometimes people can see it as a detriment because I'm a very driven person.
Yeah.
So I'm constantly going. And as you and I know, can sometimes go too much on the masculine energetic side. But I really work on the excellence you put into work is very important in terms of the way that you lead as well.
Yeah.
So I'm a very big empath, me personally. But the way that I manage a team as well, I'm very big on empathy. I think we're all human at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So why should that, whatever level or designation you are in a business, that does not matter. I know that's seen as quite a taboo way to lead people. I think some people think it's not. How is that effective? How do you have boundaries? How do you whatever? And I just think it naturally has a lot to do with who you are and how you instill that as well.
True.
Yeah.
We've had conversations in our lives that empathy is a very innate feminine way of being. And that's why it extends from us. And then the boundaries come in, then the accountability comes in, then comes in all those other aspects. So where's the balance that you apply?
So I think a lot of it does just come down to the relationship as well that you build with those people. So I'll speak specifically about our team at Genie. So we started the business 8 years ago. It was just Nikki and I. And we started from our sofas. It was something that we really bootstrapped when we started the business. And I think as we grew it and, started to recruit a team, it was more about who has the same vision as us and kind of I wouldn't say personality, but maybe personality traits, I think.
Yeah.
Because I think being an empathetic leader, that doesn't always work on everybody. I think it actually can be taken advantage of sometimes.
Yep.
So we've always gone for people that are striving for the same goal. And I think specifically with recruitment, it isn't the easiest job. You're dealing with people. You're not dealing with products. So there is a big difference in terms of what you can actually control. For example, we might work with a candidate for 4 months on a process. They've had 5 rounds of interview. It's been going on for a long time. There's a lot of time invested from everybody. And then, I don't know, they wake up one night and they just decide, I don't want
Not
to do
for
this
me
anymore.
Yeah.
What? It happens. You're dealing with people at the end of the day. And I think that does naturally it can create stress. It can create despair sometimes, right? We're all people. So it's then about how do we implement the strategy, or how do we support people in that time? And that is with empathy.
I love what I'm picking up from this is because at a young age, when you started off in a field that is people related, there's not a lot of controllables.
No.
Right? And because there's not a lot of controllables, you learn faster, you adapt faster, or you don't.
Yeah.
The opportunity for learning, the opportunity for adaptation, the opportunity for sitting back and saying, what's the pattern here? What's going wrong? What can I do differently? Presents itself. Would you say that is one of your reasons for early business success? That you started off with people management, and then it's easy to say, okay, that can lead to services, that can lead to products, because the core of it, the crux of it is people. And if what would differentiate one person from another is understanding psyche, understanding conflict management, understanding, when to lean in, when to sit back and let people fix things.
Yeah.
That is a skill set that actually shifts the needle by
it does.
big degrees.
Yeah, and I think, honestly, I've always said this, and it's something that me and Nikki pride our business on, actually, is it's you can never be fully ready for anything in recruitment, ever. And the way that we actually train people, again, taboo to other agencies, is on the job learning. You cannot give someone a manual on how to recruit at Genie.
Absolutely.
It's just not possible. We've never run the company like that. And the reason I'm doing that, we do that actually, is because, for instance, you might make a mistake, right? And the way that I do it with my team is I say, okay, yes, we've made a mistake. We can agree that a mistake has been made. What is it? And what have you learned from that? I'm not the kind of person to be like, you made a mistake. Why did you do that? Like, that is not. I've come from environments like that, and that was never effective to my learning, or that's not how I thrived personally. And I think that's why we spent so long building the culture that we have, because we do want it to be a safe space in a way. We're all human. People make mistakes.
Yep.
And then how do you deal with them? And I think even for me now, people might be like, oh my God, that candidate just dropped out of process. Like, does that not bother you? And I'm like, you know what? I've done this for 11 years now in recruitment, and I'm just like, move on.
Okay, that is, I think, step number one
Right.
of application of yourself, application of mindset.
Yeah.
If you could say that in a couple of words, what would that be? Expect the expect and accept the unexpected?
I would agree with that, yes. And then I think I adapted the mindset. I mean, please don't get me wrong. I've done recruitment from 18 years old, and I was chucked in the deep end in many times, many ways. And that's kind of how I've been able to move up the ladder. But I think, and I have been in situations where I've been in tears and why hasn't this worked for me? And what is going on? And like, I have had that. And I think it has made me who I am in a way, in terms of like, okay, so that didn't work out. So that just means it wasn't going to work out anyway. So I'd rather it not work out now. That's
Then
kind of
fall
the
through the last
mindset.
minute.
Yeah, because I'm
Exactly.
like, okay, if it didn't work out now, then maybe it wouldn't have worked out in 2 months anyway. So I've kind of adapted that mindset of, it was written, it was going to happen, so it's happened now, so like move on,
Yeah.
Maybe people might think it's a bit happy-go-lucky, but I think just after over 10 years in the game, you kind of just think, right, dust yourself off, pick yourself up, off we go. There's someone else out there, you know what I mean? And I think that's kind of I'd say in the past sort of 2 to 3 years, that's kind of how I've applied things to our business in recruitment. And I think it has been a key to my success and growth as a division within the company, because it is hard to not get upset about these things and feel like you've done something wrong. But that's happened. Learn from it. If you did fault, cool. What fault did you do?
How do you
Apply it
fix
and
it?
moving forward. This is how we do it. Move on, find someone else. And I think resilience is the biggest skill you need in recruitment. For sure.
Which you have. I think
So much, maybe too much.
resilience is a skill that everybody needs,
Yeah.
because your sign of self-work, your sign of maturity, emotional
Yeah.
maturity, is your recovery period.
Yeah.
If you can emotionally recover from something in 24 hours, good job. People
It
hold
took
on
me a
to
while, but I did get there.
Well, now you have us.
You have helped me a lot.
So the sooner you recover, dust yourself up, get up, and you're like, okay, fine. This happened. Can't control, can't control. Forget it. Let's move on.
Yeah.
That is actually a sign of emotional maturity, because someone can sit with the baggage for eternity, for 10 days, for 20 days, or sometimes they can think they don't have the baggage, but the baggage influences your next decision, your next interaction.
And how
then
you carry yourself, right?
Exactly. And then it shows up in everywhere you go.
No, for sure.
I want to move that needle now to self-excellence.
Okay.
We'll cover 5 aspects, and you have tapped on the work aspect.
Yeah.
On health and fitness, as
Okay.
women, we forget. Many
think
women
so.
forget.
Yeah.
Women in business forget, because you're like, my business is my baby, or my work is this, and my family, everything comes before me. And before you know it, you're beneath all of that.
Yeah.
And then you're layered with the stress and the burnout and the entire string of everything attached to
Always.
it. You've been, may I say,
Okay.
you've been disciplined to the level that we're like, give it a break.
I guess I follow the mantra of the better I am, the better everything else is around me, which I think is true.
It is true.
Because I have slipped off and done things throughout my time. And I think, from the age of 19, 20, I was struggling with health issues, and I couldn't understand why I was so young and I was facing these issues, and why me? And you go into this kind of victim mentality. But then it was, when I kind of got a diagnosis at around 23, 24, your solution is antidepressants. And I'm like, but I'm not depressed, so I don't understand that. And that's kind of when that switch happened for me.
Yeah.
In terms, I'd always been on a fitness journey anyway from 20 years old, but I made that switch of, there's got to be a way that I can help and fix myself through diet, health, fitness. And I actually have, give a lot of credit to Nikki for that. She's kind of always backed me into, or pushed me into that, look at what you're eating. This can affect other things. And that education's really helped me in that way too. And I think applying those kind of habits really does affect everything else that comes out in the future. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So if you could, straight in the camera, tell the women in business or women at a job that's looking for excellence, what are 3 tips in the health and fitness that they could take away from you that could make them better at their workplace, because it's connected to their health and fitness?
Okay, interesting. Okay, so health, I'll start with mental health. I think always prioritize that. There's always times where you need to offload or de-shed, shall I say. I think ensure you have that time for that. So personally, I like to journal. Also meditation really helps me for that. I think second, what you consume is the output you get. I actually believe that. So if I eat McDonald's, then I do feel a bit low and sluggish, I think. But then if I prioritize whole foods, a healthy diet, I'd mentally feel strong as well. And I think third, get that workout routine in. Some people think it's impossible. It is possible. There are solutions, I think obviously we have a lot of women in business that, do have a family and so on. And I understand it is harder. But if you make the time for you, everyone else around you will benefit for sure.
I love that. And that is true.
Yeah, for sure.
That is true. Talking about the intake, the food intake, not just the conversational intake.
Yeah.
From my upbringing or my patterns or my past, I just didn't know it. Like on a weekend, if I decide to have that naughty meal, I pass out.
Yeah.
And growing up, taking a nap after lunch was a common thing.
Yeah.
It wasn't a thing that your body is shutting down because, dude, you've overloaded it with things that are not good for you.
Right.
The taking a nap after lunch was like, yeah, that's a thing to do.
But it's not.
It's not.
No.
Can you imagine? I jumped on that train way in my 40s.
Yeah.
And like you said, that eating the wrong things shuts your brain, slows your brain down, your focus gets affected, your energy gets affected, and then we
It's a chain reaction.
strive
Yeah.
harder to get something that could have been done in like half an hour.
And then burnout
take the whole day.
happens, and then it's like a vicious cycle.
Absolutely.
And I think, thank God for me, I have learned that at quite a young age. And I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm not a saint by any means. I still love a cinnamon roll. I own a bakery, so there is, of course, sinfulness within that. But I think it's all about balance.
I'm the naughty partner.
You are, but I think it's also about finding that. So I think
Balance,
I'm really trying to work on maybe 85-15 kind of split right now. I'm getting there, and I think it's no one's perfect overnight. It's definitely habits you kind of have to implement, but that is the ethos I want to follow.
Yeah.
And I'm probably 80% there now, so we're getting there.
Well done, you. Coming to the next part of excellence is how do you apply yourself in your network of inner circle, outer circle, friends, colleagues? Where is there a balance you follow? Is there a gut feeling you have that you balance out your time, your attention, your involvement to these different layers? Because a lot of time, women in business, the need, and I say that cautiously, the need for success is so high that you're everywhere and you're giving of yourself to the same degree in every other person that is probably an acquaintance, somebody you just met 10 minutes ago. By the time you get back home, you have nothing for yourself to go to the gym, to go for a walk, or to give that energy to your loved ones. So in the pursuit of excellence, how does Em apply that?
Okay, there's quite a few different ways that I apply myself. So I think main one is, and it's something I've lived by, I was brought up this way, is treat others how you want to be treated. So whether you are my best friend, ride or die, you're my husband, you're my acquaintance, you're a candidate I've just met, I always apply myself to them. If someone needs help or, I don't know, they're stressed or whatever, I always try and be there for them because I never know when I might need them.
Yeah.
And that also does then flip back around to even the business side of Dubai is a very networked city. Well, the UAE is a very networked heavy city. So I do pride myself on the network that I have built within the hospitality industry. It's something I've worked 9 years on doing. And I've kind of always been able to, I have no issues in giving. And I think sometimes people don't want to give because sometimes like, well, why am I doing this for free? Like, what am I going to gain from that? Or for me, it's like, I do believe in the law of kind of attraction and karma and all of that kind of thing. So applying that to the way that I do things, both personally and professionally, is something that I pride myself on too. And big up Genie for that, because again, that's something that Nikki's really spearheaded in terms of karma. And even like, we started Club Genie initiative less than a year ago. And this was something we started to give back to, job seekers and people that are tirelessly looking for a job. They're down about it. They don't know how to get there, or how do I get in front of somebody? And we literally give back our time every week to help people. And we do coffee and connect once a month. And again, I've helped people get jobs through that for no payment, just using the network that I've built over the years to then say, for example, I have a friend from the gym who works in marketing. There was a girl from Club Genie who really wanted to get into marketing. And I just said, do you have an opportunity for someone like this? And she was like, yeah. And then now she works there. Yeah. And having that kind of, I wouldn't say magic, but that kind of intuition to just introduce people. Yeah, we didn't get a fee for it, but that's not what it's always about. Like, I know our whole business is about that, but I generally feel like what you give out, you will receive at some point, Yeah.
I think that more falls onto you applying yourself as a person, because that's an extension of you in every aspect. You're not using that just at work. We've seen it in our circle as well, that's just an M thing. The giver, hey, I know, I'll pick this up, I'll take care of this, I'll plan this, ta-da-da. That's a very M thing, that's very innate to your personality.
Yeah.
Right? I'm coming to the other segment of excellence. What are the different mindsets you've had earlier on, and then life put you to those lessons, opportunities of lessons, and you're like, you know what? I need to change this mindset. I need to change the way I look at things, and that led you to what we see as excellence. First of all, let me trace back that question and say,
okay,
when you look at yourself, do you look at yourself as excellence?
You're going to be annoyed at me, but not really.
No, Mira, you're excellent.
I know I need to. I think I don't know, because I don't know, maybe it's just the way I was raised. Like I have this issue of I never want to come across as big-headed or arrogant or anything like that. Don't get me wrong, I do feel like I'm very good at what I do, and I feel like I've learned from the best and I can really teach other people.
Yeah.
Very grateful and blessed for that. But I don't sit there and think I'm excellent, which maybe you should think I probably should, but I just don't. And it's something that I clearly need to work on. I struggle with those kind of things. But even recently we did a self-love workshop, and that was really helpful because I've always had a high standard of myself, like a higher standard than anyone has of me. And
I think that's the key.
Yeah, I think
when
so.
you have a high standard for yourself, and it's not all-consuming, equal sabotaging, it really makes you wake up every morning and say, I did a good job, but I know I can do better, and I can do better, and I can learn from this, and I can, double down on what went well and then just get better, better, better.
Yeah.
I think that's probably one of the key takeaways that I'm taking in my head, that have high standards for yourself.
Yeah, and I think if I don't have high standards for me, then who will?
And
I
who
mean,
will?
like I definitely get that from my dad. My dad worked in the automotive industry for nearly 30 years. Like he was in a sales position. He was someone that I always saw that was always working hard, like for his family. And now he's retired in his 50s and he's living his best life. But I think he probably would say he has a high standard for me, but that's just because I'm also in sales and he knows that I have no limit with how successful I can be with wealth or growth. And I think I've always had this fire, like I've always wanted more, which again, sometimes can be to my detriment. But for me, especially in recruitment, it is a commission-led role, like that is what it's about when you're in a recruitment agency. And I never get bored about chasing that commission check, which I know isn't a common trait to have. I've found
I think that's a good one,
especially
because
when I
a
recruit
lot
people.
of people prefer to have the secure salary, and that keeps the
don't
the
get me wrong,
ceiling on
I
your
have a
head.
great like salary and stuff, but for me, that's not what I get out of bed every day for. I don't.
No, when I'm listening to you, Em,
Yeah.
I'm just pulling out from that conversation that somebody that embodies excellence is not fearful of not having perceived security
Yeah.
that's coming on the outside. A salary is a perceived security that I can take leave, I can, half-ass my way to work, but I'm still going to pay it on the 30th of every month. A person that is project-based, a person that is sales-based can either be, oh my God, I don't know what's coming in my account, or could be like, oh my God, there's no limit, let's go.
Yeah, I'm like, let's see how high it can go, And I think that you have to be like that to be successful in recruitment. If you don't have that fire or desire to make that money,
I think it's in any
not worth it.
field.
Yeah.
If you have the mindset that there's no limit, nobody's putting a limit, then why should I limit myself? Or the perceived security, you get that out of the way. I would take that as one of the ways you apply excellence in your life.
Yeah.
Because you're not looking for someone to give you security. You're like, thanks for not giving me a limit. I'm going to go all in.
Yeah, so for me, like I had a specific figure on my vision board this year, and I've already surpassed it. I've already surpassed that number, and I already surpassed the number from 2024.
Yeah.
And I actually sat there one day and I thought, my God, wow, like the sky really is the limit. You know what I mean? And I think sometimes you kind of do go in these little holes of, can I do this? Can I do? And I'm like, you're doing it. So continue to do it. Keep striving. Like, why stop? Don't just sit there and go, well, I achieved more than the number that I wanted. Okay, go for more then.
Yeah.
Which again, I'm just like, but it's because no one else is going to be the key to the success except me.
Mic drop.
No, but it is. It's kind of like, and this is where you get back around to the victim mentality, right?
You and I were chatting. So
yeah.
what people don't know is, and we spoke about this on Friday, literally, you're somebody that has never seen the victim vicinity. Like sometimes in our conversation, I'm like, feel it before you move toward it, right? And I personally feel in when I look at you that is the biggest key of your unmatched success. Because you don't know what the victim vicinity even looks like. So you're never going there. And that's the other side of the story. When people have been in the victim stage for a very long time, like somebody should give me a salary, somebody should give me security and give me opportunity and ta-da-da, ta-da-da, ta-da-da. You don't know what it looks like to be in the lane of excellence where you're self-accountable, but you're enjoying your own journey.
No, for sure. And I think you do have these times where, life throws you curveballs and, again, I moved here at a very young age and I had to grow up very quickly. And, I'd sometimes find myself at 20, 21 thinking, oh my God, this is so heavy. How do I deal with this? And, I do think that I've had the victim mentality very young and got rid of it very young, which I know isn't always the gift that people have. And I'm very blessed to have that. But it's more about you want to continue to strive, or like you want an end goal. Only you can achieve that. So if you sit and be a victim, you're slowing yourself down, like you're holding yourself back, right? Like, I don't mind talking about it. I had a surgery 3.5 weeks ago. And I was ready to be discharged that night. I was like, what are we waiting for?
Exactly.
And my body just bounced back and I just know
well,
it
you
was
did
the right
11,000
thing.
steps the next day.
Yeah, I'm crazy.
We
but
know.
that is like what I'm just I feel like I've really worked on listening to me.
To your body.
Yeah, and kind of like it has a way of telling you these things. So I had a 10-year journey and finally feel like I found the solution, which is amazing. And anyone that knows me personally knows how long this journey's been. So yeah, it's an exciting one. I'm ready for the new chapter too.
Totally.
Yeah.
And what is the importance for any woman in excellence choosing her inner circle? Again, I'm drawing on the conversation that we had on Friday where you said, I'm so glad that the first person I spoke about this to was Jem. Because had you spoken to somebody else who did not have the same support and response, it can take us back for a second. And while we say your network is your net worth and have supportive people around you, there is a wisdom in choosing those people.
Yes. And
you have a knack for it.
I didn't used to. I've developed it.
But from the time I've known you, you have a knack for choosing people. Like,
oh, well, thank you.
Hello, your best adoption right here.
No, I think like anyone, I've definitely had my fingers burned, especially with friendships. I think, again, when I was younger and I first moved to Dubai, you kind of do jump on any friend that you can because you're an expat, you're in a city you don't know, your parents aren't here, your family aren't here. So you kind of go on this journey of trying to find your own family here because that's kind of what you build, right? And I think I did have a lot of friendships when I was in my earlier 20s that they were toxic. They would leave each other out and they would be talking behind backs and all that kind of stuff. And I even remember at that age, I would be like, I don't want to talk bad about somebody. Like I don't like that, and like, why are friends arguing? Like I just never really understood it. And I think a lot of my close circle are 9 to 10 years older than me. So again, I was around maturity. So when I was not around maturity, I was like, this just isn't for me. So I kind of have that to learn from, I guess. And I think I just generally trust my gut more.
Yeah.
And I think I'm always open to what a relationship can bring for me, whether it's business, whether it's friendship, whatever it is. And I think I'm always open to it. And if something isn't right for me, then not my story. Thank you very much. You know what I mean? That's okay to do that. It's part of growing.
I think that's the part that many people, male and female, we forget that the biggest, fastest application of self is when you see the pattern, you gave it your all, you gave it your best, you had the open conversation, you kept invitation for another side of the story, and then it still continues.
Yeah.
You have to be brave to close that story.
Of course. And like, it just comes down to being true to yourself, I guess. And sometimes it's not easy to have those conversations or pull back from something that you've been comfortable for 8 years or whatever long period of time. But I think it's okay to grow apart from people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think you can look at a friendship or relationship and say, thank you, you taught me X, Y, Z. I'm grateful for that time. Like move on, I'm developing, And I think it's also fair to say and a good thing to have a different group of friends for different things.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? I had this conversation with a
Absolutely.
friend yesterday and she said, you know, I've got a friend of mine and he's really fun to party with and have a good time with, but like I don't actually think they're there for me. And I was like, well, that's okay. Like you can have a friend that you go and have fun with.
Yeah.
They don't always have to be like the soul relationships, you know?
Exactly.
And I think, yeah, like I've had people that I've met, like they were my candidate and now we're friends, and there's always different ways of meeting people. And I think that's what I actually love about Dubai is it's a lot more easier to make those friendships and connections. Because in any, like if I lived in the UK and you still lived in India, we wouldn't have met, right?
Oh, I think somehow something would land me
We would have had no choice.
right inside your garden.
Maybe, I
like,
don't know.
Em, can I get a chai?
Maybe, I don't know. I think possibilities are endless in that way, but I think it's just about staying true to you and you know, do you have the same values also, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is literally the next part that I wanted
God,
to talk
really?
is no surprise there.
Okay, fine.
In applying yourself, the first core part is I know myself. How do you apply yourself when you're freaking blind, right? So in knowing yourself, when you said I'm true to myself, who is Em?
Oh, interesting.
You can refer to my messages. Em, you're this and you're that.
I actually think, and it's happened to me a few times recently, I think a lot of people actually describe me as an anchor. And I think I actually pride myself on that. I think that's an amazing thing to be for somebody. I think I have a lot of anchors in my life too. And I think, again, you're an anchor to someone, they're an anchor back to you. And it's kind of that relationship you build. But who I am, I think I am, you know, you've done this on purpose because you know I really struggle to do this.
Not at all.
I am thoughtful.
Mm-hmm.
I
know that.
am caring, and I like to have fun. And I think life is about having fun. In all
You
the
love taking
seriousness.
care of people.
And I do, yes, caring for sure. Love to take care of
Yeah.
people, but I think life is very serious. And I think as you get older, it only gets more serious and you get more responsibility. And I think it's just always important to still have fun in those serious times too. Because I think that's what life's about, you know? So yeah,
True.
have fun, caring, hustler. I'm a hustler, sorry. I am a hustler. And yeah, an anchor for those who I love.
That is very true. Coming to her being an anchor,
Okay.
when was that? Saturday, Sunday. I messaged you. I went for a bloodish test. And when I went there, my mind was okay. I'm like, yeah, I got to do it. Big girl pants on. And when I'm sitting and getting all those crazy tests done, my body started to shiver. I'm like, oh my God. And in my head, I'm like, what would Em do? Channel Em, just breathe and you got to get this done. Da, 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 da. I literally had you in my head. And I
Yeah.
called you right after, right? Because my body was still shivering right till a little bit after we spoke. So yes, you indeed are an anchor.
Yeah, no, and I've also become a lot more calmer. I think maybe 4 or 5 years ago, I think I was quite a chaotic person in some ways. I think, and I've done a lot of work with you and other people to actually understand why I was like that, or why are you functioning like this? Why that's not effective? So why are you doing that?
Yeah.
And I think I have applied a lot more calmer way of living. Don't get me wrong, I still can get quite frustrated as a person, especially with some things that I apply. But in terms of, like I said before, picking myself up, dusting myself off, having a surgery, I've definitely become a lot calmer
Yeah.
with things. And I'm like, this needs to happen. Let's just do it. Not going to sit there and worry about it and think about all the things that could go wrong. Or because I also do think as well, if you worry or panic about everything, that's the kind of energy you attract.
bring in, absolutely.
Yeah, and I guess maybe you could say I've learned the hard way because I have been like that, you know, and you kind of do have this chaotic energy to you, and it's just not actually effective at all. It's not the actual true being. Yeah.
And if I could say, well, I am saying the theme of your year this year has been massively speaking your truth.
Yes, that's something I have struggled with. Yeah.
And well, you no longer struggle with it because
No, it's a journey, but I mean, I'm definitely a lot
you're
better.
way
Yeah,
better,
yeah.
right? How has that influenced your elevation, your trajectory, your chaos turning into a lot of calm. I've never seen you as chaotic, so let's put
Yeah, you
that
didn't
out
know
there.
me then. No.
I've never seen that, but I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, if you say so. How has speaking your truth impacted? And for our listeners, why is speaking your truth, obviously first knowing your truth and then speaking that while it's being wrapped with allowance, with compassion, we're not throwing our truth onto other people. How has that impacted you?
So I think as a receiver, so I do sometimes really put myself as a receiver point of view when I'm deciding what my truth is. I always think to myself, I am not a mind reader. If you're angry at me or you're sad with me or anything, I don't know unless you tell me. Right?
Yep.
So there's been times with relationships and both professional as well, where you kind of think, I feel this way, but maybe it's easier just not to say it. Or, maybe it's going to upset them if I say it.
And then what does it do to you inside?
We
Take
kind of
me there.
develop this kind of anxiousness to yourself, I think. And, there was a situation where I had to say, I don't feel appreciated. And that was difficult, but it was something that the other person didn't know that. So then how could they
read
on
your
that?
mind?
Yeah. But then again, that was a shift for me. Maybe it was just a maturity shift of let's not be cryptic. Let's just be honest with people.
Yeah.
Nicely honest. I don't think I'll ever be that person that could be nasty.
But I think that's the myth, that being honest is being rude.
Yeah.
Being honest is just being honest. It
you don't have to be
doesn't
rude
mean you're
about it.
projecting onto anyone. You're just saying, listen, this is how I see it. Is that how you intended it? And if not,
no,
how
because
do we
also as
shift
well, I
this?
used to be like, and I still am to a degree, I used to be a million miles out, like, I need to see this person, I need to do this, and then I've actually got better at being like, I'm tired, can we reschedule? Like, I don't want to burn out even more, like, I need my own space. And again, maybe it is maturity again still as well, but I much more, like, appreciate my own time. My husband travels a lot for business as well, so our time together is precious, and I think when I need space on my own, we also both just say, I love you. Just need to sit here and not speak to you.
Yeah.
And both of us are like, cool. Like, do you want food? Like, do you need something?
Exactly. And I think that is application of maturity, but where you're like, and we've done that. We can chill, but let's not talk.
Yeah, like.
How many women friends can do that? Because there's such a pressure to perform.
Yeah.
There's such a pressure to be liked. There's such a pressure to do everything. And we do all of those things. But to just be like, I can see you, but can we not talk?
No, and even over time, I've realized like the kind of true friendships, true relationships, the amount of time you spend together as well isn't necessarily the detriment of your relationship. If that makes sense. Like, again, we're in Dubai, people leave, people come, people go. And I've had friends relocate to different countries or whatever, but whenever there's been time or an occasion or anything, the true friends show up. Yeah. And then when you're like, I don't know, when you see them and maybe it's been a year, it's like nothing's ever changed. Because like that is a true friendship. You know what I mean? And I think, I've worked my way through those too. But blessed with the circle that I have, that's for sure.
True thing.
Yeah.
Likewise.
Yeah.
Could you tell the listeners, what are the 3 things that they can say or do to apply living in your truth?
Oh, interesting. Is this like an exam? Are you testing me from what you've taught me? She is. Okay.
No, I'm not. I promise.
Okay.
No, I'm just reflecting back, how inspirational you are at 27, 28, 29. I didn't have this kind of wisdom, this kind of awareness when I was your age. I was just seeking validation and, following wherever I got breadcrumbs of a little attention from work or bosses, or if you did this, you'd see that in your extended future.
Yeah.
That kind of knowledge, wisdom, application was not there.
Okay.
So
okay. No, and I think I'm blessed that I have been exposed to it.
Exactly.
But, so I think living in your truth, communication, 1,000,000%. That's my biggest lesson. Communication. You need to communicate with those people. The ones that you love, the ones that you work with, to be able to be efficient at what your circle is. I think be true to you but only you can decide what that means and what that is. So you kind of need to pick that out a little bit. And I think my final one in terms of living in your truth is do what kind of keeps your soul on fire. Yeah. Keep that fire lit. I think that's important.
I love that. Would we say that would be having McDonald's right after, or going for a McDonald's softie after we ditch the gang?
Maybe. I mean, again, we have different friends for different things. You're my friend that would eat a cinnamon roll with me. And then we have our friend Gemma, who is the one that makes me go to the gym when I need to.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Different friends for different things. And that's okay.
Thank you so much
Thank you for having me.
Sharing your journey so openly that it can inspire people, but more so just being the beauty of embodiment is when somebody embodies these values, you just learn by being in the same airspace around them. And I know that as a fact that is something that your business partners receive from you, your colleagues receive from you, we receive from you. So thank you for being so authentically Emily, for all of you. And thanks for coming to Her Voice.
Thank you.